Hey, welcome to the Steve Davis Show. Special guest today is Dick Johnson, the head tennis coach at La Cueva, boys tennis coach at La Cueva High School. And hey, thanks, Dick. It's been a long time.
Boy, it has been. It's good to see you, Steve.
I kind of talked to get a phone number the other day, and I thought, you know what? I haven't done anything on tennis in probably 4 or 5 years. And the last person I talked about tennis was you, and it seems like you've been very busy over the last couple of years, over the last 4 or 5 since last time we've been on the show.
Well, tennis has obviously been a very important part of my life, and I've next year with the USPTA as a registered certified tennis professional. It'll be my 45th year. So yeah, I've been around a while.
I'll tell you. Well, update us a little bit. Tell us what's going on right now. It's everybody thinks football's going on, but there's tennis going on right now. And
well, yeah,
a lot of good things are happening.
Well, it's been fun. Finally, on the big time level, the professional level, the pros are seeing people in the stands. Indian Wells has restarted, which is of the Grand Slams, it would be called the 5th of the Grand Slams out in Indian Wells, California. That's going on right now. And so a lot of the top professionals are playing. And hey, locally, we just finished a really neat tournament that Ed Corley's put together, the Corley Cup.
Well, let's talk about that, because you kind of opened my eyes, and then I started reading the paper, and it's just kind of tell us the obstacles to get it going. And it didn't look a little bleak with COVID, but y'all persevered, and good things happened last weekend.
Well, Mr. Corley, Ed and his daughter Ivana really thought this all up, and it was kind of a project for her, and she wanted to do something for the kids, and she asked a couple of us, Amy Badger, who's the director of tennis up at High Point, and myself at La Cueva, if we'd help out in this, and sure. So last year we had it about the same time in October, and at that time, the kids had to wear masks, which is pretty tough. Tennis is the number one safest sport. The kids are 78 feet apart, but we wore the masks and the kids played through it, and Mr. Corley gave some wonderful scholarships to the kids.
I tell you, in this year, you had 75 participants. Is that correct?
Yeah, I think it was something like that, and throughout the state, and I think it's going to continue to grow, and I hope it does, because my goodness, the first place boy and girl received a $1,000 scholarship, toward their college that they're going to be going to. My particular young man, Alex Luminog, was runner-up to Philip Boson from El Dorado, a great player, and it was a really good match. So both kids really benefited. Runner-up got $500.
Well, I tell you, that speaks well of your program, but it also speaks well of the competition out there.
Sure. Well, District 2-5A is traditionally been the strongest one over the last 10 years. And we've got great competition with us and El Dorado and Farmington, Piedra Vista, and Sandy and West Mesa, of course, are in the district too. But especially El Dorado and Farmington are usually our top opponents.
Well, do you know the girl's name that won that tournament? Not to put you on the spot.
Oh, a young lady from Santa Fe, and I can't pronounce her last name. She's a Russian heritage. But I believe that she plays at St. Michael's High School.
Wow. I tell you, good crowd.
Yeah, we had a nice crowd.
Where was that played at?
Oh, it was up at High Point, High Point Sports and Wellness. And last year, there was only one parent that was allowed to be there with their child. So it was pretty barren. They'd play their match. We'd wipe down tables, and everyone, it was very sanitary. In the parking lot, they had to come in, and everyone's temperature was checked and the whole thing. So we were abiding by all the rules.
I tell you, that's remarkable. A lot of people, just wanted to sit and wait, and y'all kept pushing the envelope and got these student athletes out there to, all the things that they've been working for, and an ability to compete against each other.
Well, Mr. Corley's, Ed Corley's 2 daughters are currently ranked number 1 in the country in the NCAA Division I. And they were fantastic representatives for New Mexico in junior tennis, and great kids. And so he wanted to really give something back to the community and also his charities. New Mexico Youth Tennis Foundation was the recipient of a $7,000 check this weekend.
So I tell you, people were rewarded for this, and the coverage was it was.
Yeah, we did pretty good for tennis.
For tennis, and we just need to keep that going. So.
Exactly. It's not.
Is this something that's going to happen every year now?
We're hoping so. We have our next meeting, next month, a little follow-up meeting, and there were some real positive vibes about the deal, and I'm optimistic. Yes.
And I was looking in yesterday's paper, and there was some other people that were helped. It was neat to see AJ Brantliff is on the board,
yeah.
And then also. Joe O'Neill was on the board, so you got some people really backing this thing, and it doesn't happen without those. And I'm sure there's some other people. I don't want to, you might want to relate to those people.
Well, it was, Shelley Barker, who's been in the past our Northern New Mexico president and treasurer. She took care of that end of things, and Amy Badger obviously ran the tournament. Pat McGrath donated his time. The coach up in Farmington High School, the girls coach, he came down, and we had a lot of people. The umpires and linesmen were all there. It was a pretty neat deal. We had the umpire stands for the semifinals and finals. USTA umpires officiated, and it was pretty professional. A pretty neat deal.
You had, good crowd, good weather, and that's one thing. People think, you think about weather. In the last week, I think, the Balloon Fiesta was here, and they got 7 out of the 9 days they went up, and that just really helped the economy of New Mexico.
Oh boy,
of Albuquerque.
That's for sure. And Sunday we had about a 10-minute rain delay, and that was about it. It got a little colder. It would have been a little rough today, though, to have it. I think this afternoon I've got to go out help my little mid-school kids at Desert Ridge, and I think I'm going to be wearing about another sweatshirt besides this one.
I'll tell you what, we're going to go to the Dream Style Top 10 Plays of the Week and come back and talk more about tennis.
Hey, great, Steve.
Here is Porti, blocked in, and that'll do it! Emma Eden blocks in the point, and the Chargers take this one in 4 sets. Men split out wide, and we got Garcia on the motion. Melfi met in the backfield, he gets off a guy, can't get off the second.
Most of them do not have a 4th and 17 player.
Gerardo airs it out. Caden Valdez, he hits him. This will go for a touchdown.
What a nice play.
52-yard touchdown pass to Caden Valdez.
Looking for the end zone up the middle to McIntosh.
Oh, beautiful catch.
Touchdown Chargers. Martin McIntosh in double coverage. Snatched that one right out of the air.
That was a big time grab right there.
In the middle, Moore.
Woo, great dig.
Tipped over on the right side. Carlson, she's able to set Leyva for the match. Yes! Turtle Morales. That's beautiful. Ooh, and a nice block coming in. Here comes a run forward by Manzano. Only the punter to beat. It's Isaiah Garcia. And Garcia to the 20, to the 10, and the touchdown. That was set up by amazing blocking on the play.
To get on some type of rollout.
Chavis looking, still looking towards the corner of the end zone. It is caught.
Great catch.
Touchdown, little Nathan Lopez coming up big again. Big Nathan Lopez puts the Cougars on top as he sticks the landing. 14-7 Cougs. Back to pass, up the middle, wide open. Jackson Hicks with the deep catch, and he's going to go 80 yards for the touchdown.
All right, that may have been the PNM play of the game. We'll find out at the end of the night. There's a short catch. Up man caught it. He found a lane, coach. Uh-oh,
There he
here we
goes.
go.
There
Check
we
it
go.
out.
It's a foot race.
Ramirez takes off. Can he keep it going? Touchdown, West Mesa.
Now they go quickly. Pressure is picked up nicely. They get it complete to Ludi Herrera again. Yards after the catch, Ludi Herrera.
Bye-bye.
It's a foot race. Tristan Ludi Herrera wins most of those, and he does. It's a touchdown for the Spartans, and Tristan Ludi Herrera goes 50 yards on the score.
TurboThreads is a proud sponsor of ProView Networks.
Almost 30 years of experience means fast service, great prices, and a wide selection of apparel from t-shirts to performance sports shirts, even jackets and hats. They feature low minimums and no setup charges on most orders. TurboThreads is located at 1503 Golf Course Road in Rio Rancho, or find them on Facebook, online at turbothreads.com, or call 999-1234 for TurboThreads.
Hey, welcome back to Steve Davis Show. We got Dick Johnson here, head boys tennis coach at La Cueva High School, and 7 out of the last 10 years, is that correct, on state
We've
champions?
had some pretty good effort by our squads, and I've been blessed with some great kids. COVID knocked us out, obviously, in 2020, so nothing happened there. But El Dorado got by us in 2018.
A district rival.
District rival, and but we came back strong in 21 and the spring of 21, and did a great job in the state tournament. And Hobbs we defeated in the finals.
So I tell you, there's matches going on now. Is it fall? Is that what?
The kids are most of your top tennis players that are playing on the upper levels on a high school team are playing USTA tournaments, throughout. But we'll start up in the spring. Good old windy springtime.
I tell you, I am not envy you. I'm like, sometimes that sometimes the spring is not. We try to do baseball and it's just really difficult. Actually, sometimes it's worse weather than the winter because of the wind.
We've played for 3 or 4 weeks at a time, and where it was just 25, 30 mile an hour wind, and and then all of a sudden we had a good day and we were playing a tough match, and I don't think we played at all like we should on the good day, because we were so used to the windy days, compensating for the wind with the lobs and the percentage shots into the wind and that type of thing. But you're in New Mexico, you get used to it.
Well, I guess, how do you prepare for that? Or is it just because when you're coaching, say it's a real windy day, and do you serve when you have the wind behind you, do you change your game plan, or you just kind of?
Well, your service toss takes on new meaning, because you toss the ball up, and sometimes you have to really adjust and maybe possibly toss
I didn't
the
think
ball.
about it. You throw the ball up, and the ball's going to be.
Yeah, it's going to end up in the West Mesa somewhere. So, no, you just really try and just adjust, maybe toss a little bit lower, and the main thing is to get it in. I mean, we've had situations where I've just told the kids on their second serve, it's so bad out there, just serve it underhand. I mean, that's legal. So, yeah,
just get it over
well,
the
you
net.
can't bounce it, but you can hit it in the air
Right.
underhand. And yeah, there's some crazy situations. You know, we've had some snowstorms that all of a sudden have appeared, and it's, you know,
That time of year, I always tell somebody how they watch New Mexico weather. That time of year, you can actually, it could be raining in the morning, snowing at noon, and then at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, it's perfect weather.
Exactly. You never know.
And it could go from 30 degrees all the way up to 70 degrees all in
Right.
one day. All in one day.
Yep. You know, in our matches last year, we had to go up to Farmington a couple times, and it was windy both days. But it's just something you kind of expect. You just work with it.
Talk about some of what we're going to be looking forward to in the spring this year, as far as teams to look out for, players to look out for. I know that you keep an eye. All these players right now are playing somewhere or doing something on the weekends and keeping
Right.
their game sharp.
Well, yeah, the UTR rating is a big thing for these kids. To get their UTR rating up. Most of your top players in the state, I would say the top 3 or 4 are between 9 and 10, maybe a little over 10, which that rating is something that college coaches look at when they do recruiting, the Division II and the Division I coaches. Most of your Division I players are usually in about the 11 range on a UTR rating. So we've got some kids throughout the state that we don't have the quantity of a Florida or a California or something like that, but we've got some individual kids that are really good. The Wind Boy up in Farmington is an excellent player. Philip Boson from El Dorado, who just won the Corley Cup. Yeah. I have 2 fine players, Alex Luminog and Tannen Ramnath, my 2 co-captains that are seniors, and on any given day they can beat those other 2 players, and vice versa. Down south, you've got, I don't know what's going to happen this spring, but I know Hobbs always puts together a great, very competitive program. Carlsbad has always a very good program. I mean, Ryan Galindo does a great job down there at Carlsbad, and Mayfield and Centennial and Cruces are all strong. So the problem we've had in the past is we're kind of limited with the number of matches we get to play during the spring as compared to the southern teams. And so we're hoping that we get more matches. We hope that we get some of our tournaments back. We had the APS singles in the past, and of course we have the Metro. We look forward to that. And, I would really like for us to do some more four-team matches where we play a match on Friday with our 2 high schools locally and with 2 teams from out of town. Then on Saturday we play a doubleheader. We just switch it back, so we get 3 matches in 2 days. And that's a good way to kind of find who your competition is from the south, the north and the south. Also, when it comes seeding time in May in MAA, Scott Owen, and it'll really help him too with the seeding, because he'll have some matches that have been played, and they can look and see who won and who lost. It makes the seeding a lot easier than if you never have played these people or haven't had a chance to play them.
Well, and I like the idea of out-of-town teams, like you said, because if you play the southern part, plays in the southern part, and people you don't get to see them with your eyeballs, and that's one thing that when Las Cruces and other sports comes up here, you get to see
definitely.
Get to see really what I call it the eye test from people that are not professionals on it. We get to see who the players are in the state.
Yeah, it's important, and it's important for the kids too, because if you're a local player from Albuquerque, or even if you were down in Las Cruces or Carlsbad, and you're playing the same people all the time, that gets a little monotonous. I mean, you've got to play different competition. Tennis is a one-on-one game. That's what's the beauty of the whole sport, or 2-on-2 if it's doubles. So to get someone from out of our metro area is always very, very valuable.
Well, I tell you, we're going to go to a little break, and we'll come back, and we're going to talk some other things that you've done besides just tennis. So it's, I want to congratulate you on your tenure with that. And that's a little teaser for everybody, but we're going to come back and talk about Dick Johnson himself.
Oh, gosh, thanks.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot. It's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Don't sacrifice quality of flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
I'm Terry Wilson, quarterback for your New Mexico Lobos. Growing up in Oklahoma City, my Boys and Girls Club was a safe place where I would go to play sports, practice important values like respect and integrity, and of course, always do my homework. Here in New Mexico, the Boys and Girls Club is having a huge impact on kids and teens every day after school. All you Lobo fans out there, support the Boys and Girls Club and help our young people learn and grow. Great futures start here.
Hey, welcome back to Steve Davis Show. We got Dick Johnson here, head tennis coach at La Cueva Bears tennis. Unbelievable. I was reading a lot off your shirt. You know, a nice little shirt there you got.
Well, it got a little chilly today, so I had to pull out I think this sweatshirt is probably about 5 or 6 years old, but it's comfy.
You know, I want to talk to you about some of your personal, you know, for coaching for all your years and everything like that. But you know, you won the National Tennis Coach of the Year. And how did you receive that? Because that is, you know, I learned a lot over the last 4 or 5 years with people from New Mexico that have won in their sports those awards. But it's hard to get nominated. Yeah. That's the first thing. So that's just to get nominated is an honor. But then to be one of the top coaches in 52 states. So.
Well, I just you know, it was very much an honor, and then you know, in 2018, the New Mexico Sports Hall of Fame, I was named one of the high school coaches of the year, and I think that was probably one of the most meaningful because it was for my state, you know, with my peers, and you know, I've been at La Cueva 31 years, and we've had a good track record, and I've been blessed, as I've mentioned before, with some great kids. But no, it was an honor, and I continue to go to all the national. I just got back from the World Tennis Conference, USPTA, United States Professional Tennis Association, was in Las Vegas at the Westgate Hotel, and met some of the top people. 2 years ago, Andre Agassi was the featured speaker, and this year, Dr. Jim Lair, who's a famous sports psychologist, was there. Stan Smith was elected into our USPTA Hall of Fame, and you know, legendary Stan Smith, who, you know, won 2 or 3 Grand Slams, and great doubles player with Bob Lutz. And
were you in awe when you were looking at it, when you were talking to these people?
Well, I had spent some time with Stan in the early 90s when we did the area training centers regionally, and he was the head of all that. So I've known him for a while, but a good guy.
Good guy, and
yeah.
And just, you know, there's a big banquet, and they
yeah,
say, I mean, kind of relate to that. They fly you in.
Yeah, it's quite a deal. You know,
throw out that red carpet and do the whole thing.
It's pretty nice, you know. And one of my good friends, who he actually came from Sacramento and just to be there because we had been invited to Australia for the Australian Open in 2014. There was about 50 of us pros in the nation that were invited to go, and Dexter Fong, and so he had flown in for that. So it was really neat to have him there, and some of my Southwest buddies that are tennis pros, throughout the Southwest. So they were all there. That was very, very special.
Well, you also you were president of the Hall of Fame, New Mexico Hall of Fame.
Yeah, I just finished up. It was going to be a 1-year term to help out our beautiful man Gene Pino. Ended up to be about 2.5 years with the COVID and everything. We finished up our induction ceremony a couple months ago, and my term as president is over now, but I'll stay on the board. A good bunch of people, and they care about the athletes that have done something for our state.
Theo Borello's going to...
Theo's taken over.
I tell you what, he's a big supporter of ProView Networks.
Oh, he's a good man.
Not just ProView Networks, just sports in general.
Good man, and looking forward to working with him, and excited to see who the new nominees will be.
I tell you what, that's you're talking about an honor to get nominated, but then to get in it takes some time because there's so many great athletes and great people in the state of New Mexico.
It's amazing. It's amazing. So we'll see what happens in the next few months, and I'm on the board of the New Mexico Sports Hall of Fame, and I'm the director of the Northern New Mexico Tennis Pros. I do a newsletter for them 4 times a year, and so I'm staying pretty busy. I hate asking questions, but what was probably the New Mexico Hall of Fame? You get close to the people. I mean, once they get nominated, you spend a lot of time getting to know them personally, their family, and all that. And but is there somebody that you got gravitated a little bit more that you get closer to? Well,
I know I did. I'm just saying.
Sure. Well, all of them, very much so. And Danny Romero and I, we talked, and when he got nominated for that, I was the one that had to call him up and talk to him, and we ended up talking 45 minutes. And he's going to get his little boy in my tennis camps, and he's a wonderful representative of New Mexico. And Holly has been terrific. Holly Holm, and but I think Danny and I probably, we just every time we see each other, I'm quite a bit taller than he is, but he lifts me up off the ground and how you doing, big guy, and all this stuff, and he's a wonderful person.
Well, I tell you, back to Danny, he actually bought my house that I lived in, and then his dad built this workout area in the back. So him and I when I saw him out at Santa Ana that day, it was like talking to him. He's so personable and everything like that. So.
Well, Holly is a big dog lover, and my wife and I have 2 little Shih Tzus, and so we always talk about that. And sorry she's had her injury again, but hopefully she'll get back going. And Carolyn Thompson, who's is in Lubbock now, and just great player.
And Dick, we're going to have to cut you off there.
We were rambling.
I want to thank you for coming on, and we're going to come back on when the season starts. How's that?
Oh, that'd be great.